going to start talking about Engage New York. I know you don't have a lesson for this Friday. This Friday will just be another day of sorting. Only it will be pentagons and hexagons, so that they have to kind of draw distinctions between figures that are close. And then you'll want to do the same work that you did before with the like matching sets that are the same. Okay? Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Monday we will do a test. Okay? That gives you almost nearly a week before you have to start Engage New York. Okay? And that way you only have to do 4 lessons to start. There's like 2 components of Engage New York. There's the routine, which I feel like the routine will become routine, just like anything else. It's going to happen. There's basically fluency practice, then an application problem, then the concept development, and then IP. So it's very similar to what we've been doing, except for there's this application problem. It's not different, right? We did a little bit of fluency sometimes, and then we do a now we're going to do a problem. The concept development is like the mini lesson, and then the IP you're used to doing, right? So same thing as before. I want to talk you through basically then, if it's not like the routine, then how do we use this curriculum? And Emily has said that she will turn this into a PowerPoint so that you have that to fall back on. But what I really want you to be able to do is I really want you, especially at this point of the year when you're doing so well, is I really want you to be able to take this curriculum and synthesize it down into something that's manageable for kids. What you can't do is you can't stand with this curriculum in front of kids and like use this as your lesson plan. This is really dense. I'm sure you saw by just reading the very first lesson. It's really dense. Like there's definitely an element of breaking it down into pieces, okay? What we'll do moving forward is we'll just divide and conquer. So there's 5 of you, there's 5 days in the week, like we'll each take 1. You're expected to read the whole thing, but you just share out with the group, okay? So I want to kind of show you what that looks like today. Does that sound okay with anybody? Mm-hmm. Any questions about that? We've had murmurings of this curriculum, but I'm not sure I pitched it to you really clearly, so let me just see even that. We are done with my math, like we've gotten through it. And you've done a phenomenal job, okay? Like, obviously, as you know, you can achieve incredible results. But there's more, as you know, to, like, learning and being good in school than just, like, being able to, like, compute and get an answer. And I feel like Engage New York really pushes us in that direction. Okay, so we're going back to some math that we've already done, like, months ago. But we're asking kids to do a lot more drawing and writing about it. We're asking them to, they're going to learn in a different way, so they might connect to concepts they didn't have before, and really, like, have rich experiences like that private school education we want kids to get. We didn't start with this because they had a lot of gaps that might have been hard to get us here. So this curriculum actually serves a really interesting purpose. On the one hand, it's going to really challenge our kids who are ready to be challenged. The same kindergarten content, but just now, like, much deeper and richer. But it also gives you an opportunity, because you are going back over some of the same content, to really help your students who struggled, right? Because now you're teaching basically the same idea in a different way. So for example, let's say that part per whole chart is still giving a handful of your babies trouble. It's just not making sense to them. Now you're going to have a number bond. And so it just gives you another way to kind of engage and make it that much richer and like truly make them mathematicians, not just like kids who can do well on a test. Sound okay? Mm-hmm. You will not be left out to like hang and dry and struggle through. This will be like I said, in a PowerPoint, and it will become routine. I think initially it's kind of intimidating, but I will be there every step of the way to help you. Okay? Okay. So let me talk you through lesson 1. I had you look it over, but I'm going to now tell you what it is. So on that Tuesday, you feel like you know exactly what you're going to do. First of all, there's the fluency practice. Now, this timing for fluency practice can be really intimidating. It might mean that you don't get through a lot of practice because you're first just teaching them how it goes. But that's okay. It spirals through. So if the fluency practice doesn't go exactly quickly the way you want, it will come back and you'll keep practicing. It's not going to disappear. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So let's just look. There's first counting dots and spaces. All you do is show them the frame and say, raise your hand when you've counted the dots. How many dots? They say it. Great. How many empty spaces? They say it. And you just keep going, and you're basically practicing decomposing 4. So you can see how we're practicing about decomposing 5. We're practicing the parts of 5. We're also hoping at some point our kids start to memorize these. But you don't memorize them by like sitting down and trying to memorize them. You memorize them by like just having lots of experience with them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Any questions about the first fluency practice? Mm-hmm. What you're going to do? You're literally just putting up, and yeah, if you want the materials, it's behind the lesson. So if you keep flipping, the frames you would need are right here. Okay? Everything you need is in this thing. By the way, this is going to last us 40 days. So while this looks really large and overwhelming, it's for 40 days. A long, 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 long time. So it's not really that much. Okay, the next fluency practice. Will you tell us what it is, Miss Tyree?
Making 3, 4, and 5 finger combinations. So pretty much what we did when we did it in My Math, where we tell them I'm trying to make 5. I have 2. How many more do I need to get to 5? And then they have to, when they say it, they start with your number. So they say 2 and 3 makes 5.
Yep. And like basically just with everything. So we've done this. You see, like this, I don't know, at least for me when I first got involved in English, I'm like, holy schmoly, but it's actually just really little bits of practice and it'll become routine. So that one we already have, right? I think the most difficult of the fluencies that it's on here is the matching game. And so when you do this, let's make a note. This is the first time they're playing the matching game. Maybe you play it as a class. That means you don't have to hand out cards to everybody. And by the way, this is your copy to annotate, so please feel free to write on it. But you're going to shuffle the cards and place the cards face down. Maybe you just play it as a group. Like you, the class versus you, right? So you're going to pick 2 cards. If it makes 5, you get to keep them. If not, you put them back. If you take a look at the cards and tell me if this is right. Use only dots, dice, and fingers per pair. Like these are all cut, right? Mm-hmm. So you might get like dots and fingers. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You might get a number and asterisks, and you're still adding them all up. So you're really kind of translating between, oh my God, these numbers and asterisks and dots and fingers are all numbers. All right? Mm-hmm. And again, you're building fluency to 5.
But with this, I think they want us to match it though, right? So like if one card shows 0, then it's either going to match with the one that shows nothing in the box.
Or they're making a
or do you still want it just to make 5?
They're just pretty much adding.
Oh,
so
okay.
if they flip over the 1 asterisk and then they flip over the number 5.
Then that
1
doesn't
and
make
5
5.
doesn't make
So
5.
it
They
doesn't
turn
match.
it back
Oh,
over.
okay.
Okay?
All right.
But don't use the numerical cards.
Yeah. They're all going to get cut. Does it say not to use the numerical cards?
It just says use only dots, dice, and fingers.
Oh.
Right?
I read it and now I can't see it. Okay, thank you. Use only dots, dice, and fingers. I see where it says
We
that.
don't use the numbers. So they would get either dots, dice, or fingers. So when they flip it over, they may have the 1 dot and then the 2 fingers. 1 and 2 does not make 5. So they flip it back over and then the next person.
You played this with your kids, you said, right? Last year?
Well, it was with 3rd graders, but yeah.
Okay.
It was with multiplication. So they had to flip them over and then multiply the 2 numbers.
And if it made whatever.
And if it made whatever it was, they got to keep it.
So far, so good? We okay? All right. So again, play this as a whole group if you don't want to make little cards. And then eventually, this can be part of a routine where you do it and you trust them to play with each other. Okay? Kind of fun. How's everybody feeling? Is it okay?
I think when we do it as a group, it's easier to keep them in their turn and talk partner pairs and just have the cards and baggies, and you give each group a baggie where they can turn and talk and turn and play with their partner, and then we can keep whatever it is, long hair, short hair.
You know what else I was thinking too? Is it a way where we can make these, like, blow them up a little bit?
Sure.
And to make them larger, you know?
Copy here.
If you want to. I
Or
think
we
that'll
do
be
like
fine.
whole group, not, I mean,
Oh,
like,
I
this will be fine.
see.
This will be fine with like individuals